Alright guys, I hate being the one to point out the obvious, but because some people out there are just too blind to see, Formula 1's 2024 season is not even gonna be close. And it's all because of Max Verstappen. Now, I know some of you guys might completely disagree with me, which I completely understand, especially with promising teams that might make leaps in 2024. Primarily, McLaren, unless they make like a completely garbage car at the start of the season. Mercedes as well, if their teammates don't crash into each other every like 10 seconds. Maybe even Aston Martin when they finally have a second driver that isn't brain dead. And finally, Ferrari.
One at his finest.
And doesn't that look absolutely epic, that Ferrari?
Okay, maybe not so much on Ferrari. But that aside, all of these teams can possibly cause Red Bull some issues in the 2024 season. But based on how 2022 and 2023 went, nobody is beating this man. I personally think that nobody is beating Max Verstappen in the 2024 season, since he literally had the worst luck at the early stages of the 2022 season, but still completely obliterated Charles in the championship. He literally extended this man's depression. Like, Charles, you didn't have to take that Ferrari extension contract, you just had to lose another championship to Max. And that is why I can confidently say that Max Verstappen is a true racist. I mean racer. I meant to say race. So I hate to break it to you guys who are just hoping for other teams to shine. I myself want Fernando Alonso to shine, but if I'm gonna be completely unbiased and realistic here, Max Verstappen paired with his Red Bull car is just going to be purely unstoppable. He is going to be levels above the field like he already was in 2023. Giving Max Verstappen a dominant car is like giving a weightlifter crackhead strength.
He getting on the bike with the whole fridge on him. Crackhead strength is real. He riding the bike with the fridge.
Now obviously, this brings in the question, why is Max Verstappen so good? Why is he so dominant? And why am I so confident that this man who got left at a gas station is going to completely obliterate the competition in 2024? Well, it's because he's literally molded by racing. Max Verstappen's entire personality is just straight up driving. During the season he races, off the season he races, when he's traveling he races, even when his kid, or should I say another driver's kid, is asking him for attention, he still races. You could put this man in the Titanic submarine and he would still finish P1 in the Imola Grand Prix. My point is, Max has raced all his life and he has been pushed beyond his limits by his dad to the point where he thinks that his traumatic childhood is something normal.
They also had to live for me because my dad was away a lot. It probably cost the marriage.
But despite Jos Verstappen's controversial ways of building Max up, he has created an absolute monster. Even Max Verstappen's first car wasn't even a Mercedes, Ferrari, or anything of the sort. His first car was straight up the Red Bull F1 car.
I was 17 when I started my first race, and at the time I didn't even have my driving license.
Now, apart from Max's identity and his personality and his whole obsession with driving, what makes me so confident that Max would win the championship by a mile is how well his driving style matches with the car. Max prefers a car in F1 that oversteers, and if you guys don't know what that is, here's a simple explanation.
Drive down the same bit of road, turn the wheel, but the back of the car comes around like this, and you go off the road, crash into a tree, and you die.
The Red Bull car is very snappy and oversteery, I don't even know if that's a word, but with the combination of that car and Max's preference for oversteer, it creates an unstoppable force. Max has so much confidence in that Red Bull and he's so comfortable in it, allowing him to fully max out the potential of the car. Don't forget the fact that the Red Bull car is also bloody fast, since Adrian Newey, who designed it, literally has a wind tunnel built into his brain. The car's potential for speed and Max's ability to extract that speed is what makes him so fast. Charles Leclerc has literally tried the same thing. Some say that he might be as fast as Max, pushing his Ferrari to the absolute limit. But since the Ferrari can't go any faster, something like this happens.
Who's that got off?
Leclerc. It's Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc!
Another reason behind Max's domination is the fact that he doesn't have the threat of a teammate. If Sergio Perez didn't fumble the bag in almost every single race, Max would have struggled more to dominate. Even if Checo says to the media that he's learned a lot from 2023 or whatever, it still doesn't matter. Max is levels ahead of Checo since he has probably learned a lot from 2023 as well. So whether or not Checo improves this season, it's just a matter of whether Max wins the championship with a 200-point lead or a 600 one. Now, of course, I'm well aware that these predictions may backfire on me, but at the same time, I genuinely don't think it will. Like, let's say Leclerc would want to try to snatch the championship from Max. The only way he could do that is by doing this. But what I also think that makes the 2024 Formula 1 season not even close is because Max is just on a completely different field. He is on another level. Now I know, guys, it's probably really hard to swallow the fact that Max is probably like the best driver on the grid in 2024. It even pains me to say that as an Alonso fan, since I believe that my GOAT is so much better than Max. But just straight up based on the 2023 season, Max was just unstoppable. During Monaco's qualifying, I was so happy that Alonso got provisional pole, and even more happy when Max was literally 200 milliseconds slower in the first two sectors. But then just out of nowhere, Max pulls out 2/10 out of sheer will and just whips out the fastest lap right out of his cheeks. Like, this was straight up my reaction after that happened.
So this isn't personal.
It's Max Verstappen who breaks Aston Martin hearts.
Now, I do want to clarify that I'm not here to compare drivers, alright? I'm not saying that Max is better than Alonso, Lewis, Charles, or any other driver in the top step. It's generally hard to tell the difference in skill that drivers have in F1, since everybody is competing in different machineries and different equipment and different conditions. Except if we're comparing Max with like Nikita Mazepin. It's like comparing a Greek sculpture to a clay figure I'd make in my 3rd grade art class. What I'm pretty much trying to say is that as long as Max is in that Red Bull, nobody is going to be able to challenge him. Now, I'm aware that there's probably gonna be people commenting, oh, it's just the car, or oh, it's the car doing all the work. Like, literally shut the hell up. Even as an Alonso fan, I still give credit to how good Max is in literally any condition. He's a monster in the wet, a quick one in the dry, and is so good at finding grip literally anywhere. Max is also probably the only driver on the grid who can fully extract the Red Bull's power because he works so well with a car that's snappy, and the Red Bull gives him exactly that. But of course, as untouchable as I make Max sound, I'm gonna admit that he isn't invincible. As a quote that he said about Lewis during his domination, maybe God is with him, but he is not God. Oh my god, that quote goes so hard. But this applies for Max as well, as he could have the best car and skills on the grid, but there is still a chance that he might fumble the championship. We could argue that it just pretty much happened to Ferrari in 2022. Now, what can stop Max from dominating? Well, for that to happen, it would literally take a miracle. Like, the odds for you to get struck down by lightning in the middle of a bright sunny day is more likely than Max losing the championship. But jokes aside, one of the teams that are likely to stop Max from dominating is definitely going to be McLaren. They have proved themselves worthy of challenging Red Bull primarily during the 2023 British Grand Prix and in many more races. The direction of the team is going to a good path with a strong foundation and 2 amazing drivers. One of them is an amazing rookie that is so easy to like and is so talented, while the other driver is also super duper talented, but the thing is, he can't win a race even if his life depended on it.
Hamilton takes the lead of the race as Lando Norris slides off the track.
But overall, good setup to challenge Red Bull. Another team we have is Mercedes. Now, despite 2 of their drivers being very attracted to each other in the 2023 season, maybe they might be able to challenge Red Bull in 2024. They already have a pretty decent setup coming into 2024, and it all just depends on how good the car actually is. For you Mercedes fans out there, let's just hope that it isn't a repeat of 2022. Another team is obviously going to be Ferrari. Jokes aside, Ferrari has actually been a lot better than they were in 2022 in terms of like team management and strategy. Still though, Ferrari's pit stop still needs a lot of work, and they also need a more powerful car that can challenge the Red Bull, similar to what they had in 2022. Like, I'm genuinely still not over the clip of the 2 Ferraris going past a Red Bull in 2022's Bahrain Grand Prix. Oh my god. What could have been from that season? I still don't know how Ferrari screwed up that bad during that year. Like, ever since 2023, I have never met a Ferrari fan that has been saying 2024 will be our year. Ferrari, you have officially turned your fans into depressed robots incapable of showing any form of emotion. Now, before I head to the next team, I have a personal message for you Ferrari fans. Me saying that you guys might have a chance to challenge Red Bull in 2024 doesn't mean you'd win. Trust me, I know how deluded you guys can get, so please just take this information with a grain of salt. Now, of course, the final team is going to be Aston Martin, with F1's best rookie, is another team that can definitely challenge Red Bull. Although for this one, I'm gonna be a bit honest, it's kind of a stretch. I mean, Aston Martin were able to challenge Red Bull a couple of times in the 2023 season. Fernando came close on so many occasions, like in Monaco and Zandvoort, which literally had me edging on my seat. Wait, no, I meant to say edge of my seat. Yeah, it had me on the edge of my... I need to stop talking. But despite that, you know, Aston Martin had a really good run at the start of the 2023 season, but then they just completely forgot what on earth an upgrade is. And to top that off, they got absolutely hammered by McLaren in the championship. And to top that off once more, in half of the races, they literally just had one driver since the other one was busy going bowling with his car.
It's the curb. It's the curb.
Nice car.
Now, just in case all of these things don't end up happening in the 2023 season, I have devised a top secret, confidential, genius plan to stop Max from dominating and winning races. Just please don't tell just Verstappen about this, because I do not want 9 concussions after I upload this video. So in order to stop Max Verstappen, a team needs to decide on a priority driver who's going to likely win the championship. Let's say we have Charles here, who wants to win the championship since Ferrari has probably screwed him over way too many times. What Ferrari needs to do to allow Charles to get P1 into the first corner and throughout the whole entire race is to sacrifice Carlos. Ferrari needs to make that smooth operator not so smooth and launch him straight into turn 1, take everyone out including Max, and there you go, an easy P1 just like that. And if any of you guys are gonna tell me that this isn't gonna work, tell that to Valtteri Bottas in Hungary 2021.
4 places, and there's Lando Norris touched, and into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez.
I mean, I don't know. It's unfortunate.